October 10th here on the Just Baseball Show. I'm Peter Apple. That is Jack McMullen. And game 2 of the NLDS was everything we could have hoped for and more. And we're going to recap it here on the show. And it's all brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Use promo code JustBaseball when you sign up and deposit into your newly created account. Download the BetMGM Sports app on iOS or Android, or visit betmgm.com. Place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if it loses. If the bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available once the wager is settled. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply. Jack, I was inspired by your last episode. You wrote down everything that you experienced, all of your notes on the OneNote, and you went over it on Monday's episode. I did the same thing. However, I think the way you and I jot down notes is a little bit different. I'm stream of conscious. You, much more dialed in, probably a little bit smarter. So this episode might be a little bit funnier because what I made sure to do is I didn't change any of my thoughts. So we're going to go through what my head was thinking through Braves Phillies, which was an unbelievable game.
Yeah.
And right now we're recording in the wee hours of the night. It is the 9th inning on the East Coast. Diamondbacks are currently winning 4-2. We're going to recap both. First of all, it's late. How are you? I know this is tough for you.
I'm good. We'll see if I get we'll see how my fellow residents on this second floor of the apartment complex that will not be named in Indianapolis kind of feel about me tomorrow morning. We'll see if I get any like letters slid under my door, but I think we're going to be good. I have a 3-part response to that opening monologue.
Okay.
You ready?
No.
Part 1, maybe the first time I've ever inspired anyone to do anything, and that's the notes. 2, you're giving me a lot of credit. I wouldn't say what I did was smart. I was kind of doing stream of consciousness too. I'm excited to hear what your version of that looks like. And 3, did you use OneNote as well, or did you use the Notes app? What are we looking at?
We're looking at a Google Doc, and I think what I meant by this is because I just looked back at my Google Docs, and it's a lot of scratch. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of just, I'm throwing immediate thoughts at the wall. For you, listening back to the episode, it was well-articulated points.
Yeah,
well, I'm like that with what you were thinking before you put it on the OneNote. I did none of that.
See, here's the thing. I am a conniving, calculated, slithering jerk.
Okay.
So I think that kind of bleeds into my note-taking. Is that fair?
I think your neighbors are going to be more mad with your maybe personality in the hallway rather than you at 4 volume. Because right now you're not a yeller.
So there's a pit bull that's like 4 doors down, and that thing's going to kill me at some point. So when you don't hear me on the pod for the next week, you know they sent the pit bull to come get me.
We love dogs, but enough of the pit bull. We got to talk about Braves versus Phillies. So I'm going to go inning by inning, right? Because I'm writing down thoughts. I'm going to throw it at you. I want to get your instant reaction, and then we'll just move through it. Because my notes, it's basically a log of everything that happened because I was instant reacting to everything.
Can I give you my sweeping claim for this game real quick, though?
Absolutely, you can.
Instant classic. One of the better postseason games that I've watched in quite some time.
Instant classic is a great way to describe it. So we'll start in the first inning. Phillies, obviously, they loaded the bases early, right? They didn't load the bases, but first and second, that big strikeout on Bryce Harper in the first inning. This is what I wrote. It looks as if the Phillies could have unloaded, but that felt like it changed the inning entirely. I know they got 2 more base runners on, but that strikeout for Fried just felt like a game-changing play, or at least at the time. Remember, this is stream of conscious. I thought, well, Fried didn't have it early, but getting that strikeout, you could kind of see the relief in Fried go down a little bit. Braves fans relax. Braves players relax a little bit. Now it's 1-0, right? You're still on the brink, but it could have been so much worse.
Yeah. So I guess my first inning takeaway, my top of the first inning takeaway was he was so clearly not as sharp as he wishes he could have been, Freed. Um, Snit brought it up when Matt Weiner was talking to him on the TBS broadcast. It was 18 days between game action because he was dealing with that blister thing. And like, okay, blister, I'm sure he felt okay with the blister side. He could have certainly had, that sensation that he was dealing with, and he could have been dealing through some pain. But the thing that jumped out to me was he just wasn't sharp. And the version of Freed that is an ace and a top 5 left-hander in baseball, maybe a top 2 left-hander in baseball, um, is always sharp. And postseason Freed over the last several seasons is always sharp. And this was the first time in the last couple of postseasons where I felt like he wasn't sharp.
Couldn't agree with you more. And Ara made a really funny joke, and we'll talk about it at the end of the game, that everybody was bitching and moaning about the playoff format, and then the Braves come back and win.
Right.
Playoff format didn't seem
It's
like too much
now.
of an issue,
great.
did it? It's a great format. And I also saw people, up in arms about the Freed thing, about what Snit was saying. Snit wasn't talking about the playoff format at all.
No,
all he was talking about was the fact that this guy hadn't pitched in 18 days.
Talking
and
about his
he's
little
going
fingy poo. Yeah.
Exactly. And he was just a little bit rusty. That had nothing to do with the format, but I'm glad we're able to move past it. Braves fans, Phillies fans, we're moving past it, tied 1-1. But this truly was the Zach Wheeler show. He had a fastball up and away to Marcell Ozuna that was called a strike that Ozuna disagreed with. I thought it was one of the best fastballs ever. That's what I wrote down on my Google Docs. It was 97 up in the zone. And Wheeler, he didn't even have to really go to his sinker at all because the fastball just had so much life and he was maintaining the velocity. 5 innings, no hit. Again, didn't need to go to his sinker. And throughout this outing, the Braves dugout was what stood out to me. Just seemed dead. It seemed that after the first inning, even though Freed kind of relaxed a little bit, the dugout, the at-bats, and maybe that was Wheeler, right? They're staring down the barrel of what I think is the best postseason pitcher left, and arguably the best postseason pitcher in Major League Baseball right now. When Zach Wheeler is on, it doesn't really matter the offense, right? We saw how devastating the sweeper was. He didn't even need to go to his sinker, Jack.
We needed extension to come up on Savant. Like extension that was added end of the 2022 season was when extension kind of made its way in. And Wheeler is one of the best extenders in baseball. And when we first started doing the Project the Plate show and the Just Baseball show, my lasting thing that I kept saying like an idiot was Zach Wheeler is 6'4", but he pitches like he's 6'8", 6'9". And I really didn't know how to describe it any further. He just pitches like a big boy. And the answer is extension. This guy is a tall dude, long legs, long arms. He gets so far down on the mound and he is at you. And when he is putting 96, 97 wherever he wants it, he is an impossible task as an opposing hitter. And somehow this guy manages to do it each and every October over the last several seasons that we've seen him in there, which is so impressive and so commendable. The only other guy that I really see that and kind of different way of getting it there, but it's 96, 97 wherever he wants it, and he will beat you with his fastball, is Strider. And Strider had a little bit of that in game 1, but he made a couple mistakes. They made him pay. Wheeler, in terms of fastball efficiency, fastball command, was very Strider-esque in game 2.
Thought it was better than Strider. And I also wrote down Wheeler spinning backdoor breaking balls should be illegal.
That was gross. That one that clipped the lower outside corner, was that, who was it? Lefty bat. Was it Eddie Rosario?
I think it was Rosario. It might have been Albies, but I'm pretty sure it was Rosario. I just remember there was a couple
in the other batter's box until the very last moment, and it just clips the corner, and that is a fake pitch that should be banned, just like the tush push.
Should have been banned. Because when he's able to locate his fastball like that, and then you could spin breaking balls in the other batter's box, it's just, and that was what's so impressive, because Strider has better stuff, I would say, than Zach Wheeler. But what makes Zach Wheeler so good is that if Strider's stuff is 100th percentile, Wheeler's is 95th, and Wheeler is using that with 100th percentile command, mixing and matching wherever he wanted to. But then we can't forget the Phillies started scoring, right? JT Realmuto, big time home run, soul crushing type home run. You felt the air getting sucked out of Truist Field. And then, do you remember the Nick Castellanos stealing second?
Yeah.
And then advancing to third?
Yeah.
Do you remember that play? So what I wrote down, that felt like an FU to the Braves. The best defensive catcher overthrows the guy, and then he scores on a sac fly to make it 4-0. That just like Nick Castellanos stealing second on Sean Murphy. The fact that he was able to do that, that felt like the season was over for the Braves. If he's out here doing that, I mean, that's the biggest FU I could think.
Yeah, so I was thinking just Phillies magic at that point, but I like that you went the other way and you looked at that as an indictment on the Braves as opposed to a pro on the Phillies.
No, that's not what I meant. Not an indictment on the Braves. That was Nick Castellanos saying FU to the Braves. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, no, but I guess you're looking at it from a negative Braves lens. It's like, oh, he's doing this to the Braves. I'm just like, wow, doesn't matter who's on the other side. The Phillies are just like, they've got this weird thing going on in October and it works.
I totally would agree with you if it wasn't Nick Castellanos. Like just hearing his interviews all the time and knowing what kind of character he was. He already did the ring finger, right? It just felt like an FU to the Braves.
Yeah.
And just to add on top of that, Philly stole 7 bases in 2 games against Murphy, who is not just some catcher. He's got a top 5 pop time in Major League Baseball. He is one of the best defensive catchers. Yeah. Their ability to take second, to take the extra base is incredible. Because not only is that so important in the playoffs, you're doing it against a top flight catcher and you're doing it against a Max Fried and other guys who are excellent at holding runners on. These pitchers are athletes. This isn't Noah Syndergaard standing up there like a statue. These are athletes that they're stealing on, and it was just incredibly impressive. Also, one more note, Fried had more swings and misses than Wheeler did. Even though Wheeler had 8 strikeouts through 5 innings and Fried had 3 through 4.
Yeah, but he was freezing. Wheeler was freezing everybody with his fastball.
I agree. And Fried faced more hitters. I just saw swings and misses and Fried had more. I was like, that's not
Fried had a great day. Wheeler was kind of off. Fried had a great day if we go on whiffs.
Another note, I thought Riley made a really, really good play in foul ground to get Harper. It was way tougher than it looked. And by that, I mean, he made it look really easy. If you remember that play, ran all the way down to third. Remember, these are stream of consciousness type thoughts.
Yeah, I don't remember
that play. I was like, that was a phenomenal play in a big spot against Bryce Harper. Made it look so easy. Shout out Austin Riley. And we're going to shout the fuck out Austin Riley later in this episode.
Yeah. I mean, in a matter of minutes here. Like, I don't remember that one because Austin Riley, when I think Austin Riley from this game, I think of 2 other instances.
I do too, but that was the first one. I want to shout out Braves fans. I saw them cheering in the fans down 4-0. That felt good. That felt like the Braves weren't out of it. The fan base was not out of it. They weren't doing the chop, but they were not sitting on their hands. They weren't pouting. It was obviously tense, but you could tell they knew it was in there. They have seen this team over 162, and they know that 4-run lead ain't enough for this Braves team when they are clicking. And I was really proud of Braves fans back there. Really proud.
I have no comment on Braves fans. It is a lose-lose situation for me talking about Braves fans, so I'm going to sit that one out.
What do you mean by that? Did I miss something?
Yeah, you may be. I don't know. Did you go on Twitter? Did you see the novel that was written to me on Instagram?
No, I did. Oh, well, yes, I did see that. I did see that.
So it's in no way can I win right now, so I'm sitting this one out.
Fair enough. Braves fans, I'm on your team. But I'm also a Red October guy, so I'm very conflicted. And
right, you're not on their team.
I was getting roasted on Twitter. I was very pro Philly when they were winning, and I was like, hell yeah, Braves are coming back. This is great baseball. Braves fans are destroying me when I'm pro Philly. Like, don't you have futures on us? I thought we were your pick, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, this is great baseball. We're watching Zach Wheeler. And then Braves come back. Holy shit, this is awesome. I got Phillies fans saying never say Red October again.
No,
I can't win with these people. So I'm just going to keep giving my takes, and you can take them however you want.
See, you're going the other way. I'm going to stop giving my takes. I'm going to be quiet, and podcast host becomes the king of no comment.
Pussy. I'm going after both.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going after both of them. So I completely jinxed Zach Wheeler. It was all my fault. I wrote down, we are watching the greatest start in MLB history. And then what I did was I got out my phone and I was going to start filming a TikTok because I was fully convinced this man was throwing a no-hitter. I mean, he's throwing a no-hitter. I mean, this is the greatest start I've ever seen. This is in the playoffs against the Braves, who are being compared to the 1927 Yankees. Then I wrote down, that walk to Acuna felt like such a letdown. Then I wrote, I just jinxed it. I am such an idiot. Great shot by Albies. Then I wrote down, Trey Turner made 2 stupid ass errors, easy out on the first and dropped the ball in the second. And then if we remember that AB to Riley, where he got called out on strikes, I wrote down, Wheeler earned that paint job to Riley. It was a ball, but he was so pinpoint all game. And when you are like that, like what Gallen was doing to the Dodgers, who we're going to talk about in a minute, he deserved that call. You pair Real Muto framing with his accuracy, and you might as well go home.
Yeah, I like that. That did feel like a karma call. And it was positive karma for Wheeler. I love that you bring that up, that he earned that, because it is all about gaining capital. And that's what I think that we will lose eventually. I don't know if it's coming as soon as next year with the challenge system or the full ABS. I think the full ABS is bad. I don't want to see it. I think the ABS challenge system is good, but man, we lose this human element. I like the room for error that human umpires have, as long as you have good umpires back there. Like if we can get a perfect Pat back there, or a bunch of guys that I know there are a couple others that jump out. Lance Barrett might have had a couple good games this year, but regardless,
not many who stand out.
Yeah, not many that stand out. But I like rewarding the guys that are good, but I'm so nervous about losing the malleable element to strike zones, which is what baseball has been built on. And you think about the greatest pitchers in baseball history, they don't win all these Cy Youngs. They don't get busts in Cooperstown by throwing 100 down the dick. They never do. They do it by doing the Maddox paint job and earning the lower outside corner in a righty-lefty matchup. Like, no one's going to hit it. Bob Gibson, like Sandy Koufax, Steve Carlton, those guys, their best pitches were either on the corners or outside the strike zone. And we need that in baseball. And I'm nervous about losing that, but I'm really thankful that we saw Zach Wheeler earn the corners because he was so good tonight.
And I want to table that point because we're going to talk about what Bobby Miller did not earn, even though he has electric stuff. Couple just points that I also wrote down. Bryson Stott is such a stud. Single up the middle, just a great piece of hitting if we remember that hit. The Matt Olson single was registered at 111. I had it on Peter Vision at 120. I think that was the hardest hit ball I've ever seen off Zach Wheeler, even though it was a single. It was pure middle of the bat to Matt Olson coming in at 97. I swore it was 120 miles an hour.
It was up the gut, right?
Sorry?
It was up the gut. It was right up the heart.
Right up the middle. Just a line drive piss missile. I also wrote down Marcell Ozuna got bullied for 2 hours.
I'm okay with that, personally.
I'm totally okay with it. Then I wrote down that Travis d'Arnaud home run could have saved this season. You could feel the relief of the stadium through the TV. Hearing the noise right after just felt awesome. That. All right, we have a game here. It wasn't just domination by the Phillies starter and their bullpen. Travis d'Arnaud, we finally saw the Braves finally get through.
Yeah.
And then here we go, jinxing myself. I mean, what did I say? This is stream of consciousness. I wrote down Phillies have such a deep bullpen. Jeff Hoffman, Jose Alvarado, Kerkering, Dominguez, Strom, Kimball are all options I feel comfortable. And then I wrote down, as soon as I wrote that dumb shit, Austin Riley goes Yabo. Not sure why Hoffman didn't stick with his fastball. Riley didn't look like he was on time for it and was waiting for the off-speed pitch.
That was a not good swing from Austin Riley. And by not good, I mean it was not his A swing. That was a B swing. I think at point of contact, he had 1.5 hands on the bat. His bottom hand or his top hand, I think, was coming off the bat. With that swing, that has no business getting out. But that's how freaking strong and amazing Austin Riley is. That swing, that pitch, resulting in a home run was mind-boggling to me.
See, when I was watching the at-bat, it felt like his swing was a little bit long. So I thought Hoffman, he was humming in 98. I didn't think Riley could get up to it right now. It looked like Riley was at least sitting on something slower. That was just my perception when I was watching the at-bat. And then he throws him something soft. And yeah, it wasn't an A swing because it wasn't a hanger right down the middle, right? So I thought he went out and got it and then hit it out. So it wasn't a perfect swing, but I was sitting there thinking, why did he go to the off-speed pitch? His swing looked long. He looked like he was kind of getting dominated by fastballs all day, especially with Wheeler. And Hoffman can get it up there to 98.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand the call, but I mean, Hoffman's a great relief pitcher. Like he's going to his stuff. And it wasn't like it was a bad pitch.
No, it was a good pitch.
Like it wasn't right to go to off speed in that spot.
It was a good pitch. There are very few hitters on the planet that can do that with that pitch. And we forget that Austin Riley is that dude. We know that he was slow out of the gates this year and he wasn't all-star starter caliber this year. He finished with 37 pumps this year. He's one of the best hitters in baseball.
Easily. Also, just a quick update. Again, we were recording in the 9th inning. Evan Phillips, big time strikeout, going to the bottom of the 9th.
Really good.
Lead 4-2.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get to the big time play. The Michael Harris play was straight up amazing. But let's talk about Bryce Harper. Was it a bad base running decision? Was it just unlucky? I'm going with unlucky.
Yeah.
Tough luck. Hard to read that one. I thought he got over aggressive, but if he scores if that ball drops, right? He took a chance and he lost. I saw some part of Phillies Twitter going after him. Another part of Phillies Twitter saying, hey, we ride with our guy, right? If that ball drops, it was such an amazing play by Michael Harris. He's scoring, game is tied. You got to take a chance in the playoffs. It didn't end up working out. I'm not blaming Harper one bit. Could he have probably done a little bit of a better job? He didn't have to go that far, of course, but he was trying to score. I don't blame him too much. What was your read on that?
So I defer. Yeah, defer is the right word. I defer to Rob Thompson and Tim Kelly, who does a great job for us editorially at justbaseball.com. He is the editor. He's the editorial director at Phillies Nation. So he was there. He asked Thompson after the game. He said, Rob, should Bryce have stopped at second base on that last play? And this was Thompson's response. Quote, usually you don't pass the base. You stay in front of it, make sure it's not caught. But he thought the ball was clearly over his head, didn't think he was going to catch it. And Harris made a heck of a play. Unbelievable. He tried to get back and he slipped, but usually you stay in front of the second base. So did he venture a teensy bit too far by the book? Yes, he did. Did Michael Harris make one of the catches of the year, given the moment, given the circumstance? Yes, absolutely. I want to break this into two parts because you had Harris's masterclass, and then you had Austin Riley on the heels of a massive go-ahead homer a half inning prior, backing up that throw coming into second base. Like, I wouldn't even call it a brain fart if he wasn't there. I wasn't expecting him to be there. But the fact that he was there, made that pick on the short hop and fired a dart over to Matt Olson, that was the best play in the postseason in a long time. Long time. That's better than Chas McCormick's like home run robbery to end the game last year.
That whole sequence, the catch by Michael Harris, then the overthrow. That overthrow.
12:15 for you, too. Don't pretend you're not tired.
It is very late at night. That play by Austin Riley, getting the ball, chucking it over to first, to get Bryce Harper. That had a lot of Derek Jeter.
Oh.
Remember when the overthrow, Derek Jeter does the backhand flip
Yeah.
to get Giambi at the plate?
It was what, Mr. November? That was when he got that nickname.
Did that not have a similar feeling to you?
No, because it was the NLDS game 2, wasn't a decider. Like, the circumstances were different. And these are big circumstances, but the circumstances were huge there, and it's freaking Derek Jeter, and we put that guy on a pedestal. But Riley being there, I thought was amazing. And that was, and I'm feeling it play. It's the guy that has 50 making a big block on the final defensive possession. It's like, if you just have it that night, you have it that night. And for a 10-minute stretch, Austin Riley just had it. And Michael Harris, he didn't need to have it. That's his literal baseline. That's what he does. I know that 90% of big league outfielders can't make that play. Guess what? He's in the 10%. He's in the 5%. He might be in the 1%.
Yeah.
He might be the best.
He's one of them.
That was amazing. So the fact that he stayed where we know he can be and Riley leveled up defensively on that last play, I thought that was as much of a momentum builder as you could possibly have going into Philly for game 3.
I don't know. It gave me Derek Jeter overthrow vibes.
Sure.
And that was it. That was the end of the game. Braves win 5-4, tie the series 1-1. And right now, as we're sitting here, Kike Hernandez just hit a piss missile to Lordy Scurriel Jr. in left field, who's also had a great game. We're going to go over my stream of consciousness there. Great catch by Lordy Scurriel Jr. 2 outs left in this game, Jack. But before the game ends, let's talk about the beginning, and then we'll probably wrap up with the end by the time we're done talking. Bobby Miller just couldn't land a slide, and the D-backs punished him. The D-backs, and I wrote this down, nothing to lose. No fear. We got to start giving the D-backs so much credit. And we've been giving the D-backs credit on the show. But damn, just to ambush the Dodgers once again in that situation. And it wasn't just, they hit one big home run or they got on with errors. No, they're just continuing to hit the living piss out of the ball. This team plays with no fear. They're aggressive, but they're not over-aggressive, right? They're not undisciplined. Watching Corbin Carroll take these incredible at-bats against Bobby Miller, going from 0-2 to a walk just to get on base for Ketel Marte, then just opening the floodgates for Lordy Scurriel Jr., for Gabriel Moreno, for Christian Walker. This is an underrated lineup that plays together as a unit. And they're just really, really exciting. They're fast. They're fun. And I can't stress this enough. It's just a fearless team going into Dodger Stadium where they have not fared well. The Dodgers have owned this season series, winning the last 5 games, and the Diamondbacks put up 11 in game 1, then an instant 3 ball. And what does that do? Not only does that take the momentum out of the Dodgers at all, like you going up in the bottom of the first, and you just don't have it, right? There's just takes the air out of the balloon, but then also it takes the crowd out of it. The crowd just witnessed an 11-run beatdown, and now it's instantly 3-0, right? Yeah. If you get out of that inning and it's 0-0, the crowd is in it. They think they're going to win.
Yeah.
That took everything out of the offense, and it took everything out of the crowd. And when Gallen has it all working, doesn't matter who the fuck is at the plate. He's that good.
At what point did you start saying, here we go again? Was it right away? I thought the leadoff walk to Carroll, it kind of buried in me. And then as soon as Ketel Marte came in to score and they had that bases loaded situation and they, made it 3-0 in the first, honestly, I was saying, here we go again. This might be another blowout. Credit to the Dodger bullpen. That's my big takeaway from this game. And we're going to walk game by game, or kind of thought by thought for you. But the Dodger starting rotation in these front 2 games has given them 2 innings of 9-run ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just tried to do the math quickly in my head. I think that's the math.
They've given him 6 outs and 9 runs because Kershaw was an out and 6 runs. Miller was an inning and 2/3 and 3.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Like, I tried to do the math there, and it was pretty easy math, but it's hard to comprehend the math.
Yeah. But this is a testament. This game is a testament to the Dodger bullpen. They won this game after the top of the first inning. They won this game 2-1, but we're not playing the what if game. Bobby did not look comfortable. And there was a conversation between Bob Costas and Ron Darling. Costas busted out an SAT word and said, Miller has a placid look on his face. And Darling pushed back and said, I don't know if that's a placid look. He looks like a deer in headlights. So Costas said, oh, so that's a vacant look. Ron was like, yeah, I think we can settle on vacant. Miller did
I love them two settling on vocab words.
Right,
That's what we
like,
hear in the broadcast.
Welcome to playoff baseball, man. We've got a vocab conversation. But yeah, I thought that Bobby just looked not timid like I thought Grayson Rodriguez looked, but he looked out of his element.
Yeah.
And that is unfortunate to see because that dude has some of the most like big hoss stuff that we've got in baseball. He can bully the best hitters in baseball with that stuff. And
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. That's the difference. And that's why I wanted to bring up that great point that you made about these elite pitchers. What makes them so elite is the command with this stuff.
Yeah.
I think Bobby Miller has better stuff than Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, he does.
And we ain't comparing them at all.
No, because
like, Bobby Miller, he's throwing everything down the middle of the plate.
But we also have precedent with Wheeler.
It's true. But I'm saying, like, Bobby Miller, you look at every stuff metric, Bobby Miller has a better fastball.
Yes.
Bobby Miller arguably has a better changeup, right? Zach Wheeler doesn't have much of a changeup. Sliders, pretty close. And yet there is a staunch difference. What's the difference? Command. Yeah. Earning the corners. That's what Wheeler does. That's what Bobby Miller couldn't do. And when you're talking about looking vacant or placid or whatever the hell Costas and Darling were talking about, I thought this moment was when Bobby Miller's night was over. Now, early, I thought he fought. He didn't pitch well, but he didn't look out of the moment. This is when I finally thought, all right, Mark Pryor needs to go out and talk to him, and he did. So Corbin Carroll went from 0-2 to a walk in his second AB. Yeah. I wrote down Bobby Miller looked immediately shook. And then I said, get Pryor out there. Immediately Pryor goes out. Great job by Pryor to go talk to him. Gets Marte. Again, good call by the Dodgers to get him out of there. He didn't have it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great job. Dave Roberts, after that inning, is talking next to the dugout. And he's going through his plan of Tommy Pham doesn't really punch out. We had to get a ground ball. We felt that Gratterall was the better option. And he exactly nailed it. Gratterall got the ground ball, and he was spot on there. I thought that was a great move by Dave Roberts to keep them in the game. He's even said we couldn't go down 4, and he was right, and they kept him within the ball game. The only issue is the dead bats on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Can we talk about the dead bats? I had a realization, and it sat with me. I have more faith in Ryan Brazier, in Joe Kelly, in Evan Phillips, in Brusdar Gratterall than the Dodgers bats to get the offense going. That was a crazy thing that I thought, and it happened, that I had more faith in the Dodgers bullpen than their ability to score runs, whether it was against Gallen, because we knew Gallen would be out at some point. Against the bullpen, it didn't matter. I thought once they got that 4th run, the game was over because these bats were dead as shit. Mookie Betts, man. Mookie Betts is 3 for 33 in his last 10 postseason games. That is insanity. We view Mookie Betts as arguably the best player in baseball from a defensive standpoint, from an offensive standpoint, from everything he does on the baseball field. He has come up really small in the last 10 playoff games for the Dodgers. And the last playoff games in recent memory for the Dodgers have been a lot of losers. Losing to the Padres.
Yeah.
They're down 2-0 to the Diamondbacks at home. This Dodgers offense starts with Mookie Betts. I have a whole group chat, all Dodger fans. Shout out the boys from home. It's all Dodger fans. They were saying if Mookie gets on base, we will win. And the first AB doesn't get on base. And they said the game is over. He's the engine that goes. And when he's 3 for 33 in the postseason, the Dodgers are going to lose. It doesn't matter what the rest of the lineup does because they need him on first. They need him then stealing second. And they needed Freddie, who also looked completely in between. Didn't know whether it was a fastball, didn't know whether it was a curveball. Gallen made him his bitch. And then Ryan Thompson, you got to be funky and nasty to make Freddie Freeman foul ball off his leg.
Yeah.
So Freddie Freeman looked in between. He didn't look there. And then when those two aren't hitting, the game is over. It is over.
So Gallen punched Freeman on a knuckle curve that was middle. And I retweeted Rob Friedman, pitching ninja, who clipped the high fastball right before that. That was a tunneling masterclass. It was a fastball that sailed. Freddie saw it go eye high past him, and then he worked the knuckle curve right off of that. So I thought that was more pitching mastery than Freddie not being ready for the curveball. But Mookie and Freddie combining to go 1 for 8 in game 2. The other team-wide note that I want to bring up is this.
Wait, let me, before you get to the team, I'm sorry. I want to address the Freddie thing. I wasn't just only talking about that at bat. I'm just saying Mookie and Freddie have been in between this entire series.
Yeah, for sure.
And that, I agree. It was mastery from Zach Gallen. But at the end of the day, you are Freddie Freeman, right? Yes, it's great tunneling. Congratulations, Gallen. But to be frozen like that, middle, it wasn't painted at the bottom of the zone and barely a strike. No, it was right in the middle of the strike zone. So yes, was it great tunneling by Gallen? Absolutely. Is that an excuse for Freddie Freeman holding him to the highest standard humanly possible because he fucking deserves that because he's amazing?
Yeah.
No.
So I'm going to be maybe unfair, and I need you to call me if you think I'm being unfair now.
Okay.
I am drawn to certain guys in the postseason because they wear their raw emotion on their sleeve. Bryce Harper wears every high and every low, and I see it visibly on him during the course of a game. Matt Olson let out this warrior cry after that ball game ended. Austin Riley, that dude, he says so much with a stoic look. There are a lot of guys that I really love that wear their emotions during the postseason. And
let me see why you're already unfair. This is already unfair. I'm gonna tell you why.
They haven't had an opportunity to show.
No. You just said Riley shows it with a stoic look. I think you're being a little bit biased right now. I think you just love Austin Riley.
I love Riley.
You love Riley. And I think you're seeing the good in Riley and not seeing the good in these other guys.
Yeah, you make a nice point. I'll go to the American League now. I think Correa is a guy that wears his emotion in such a fun way. I think Yordan Alvarez is a guy that wears his emotion in a fun way. Royce Lewis, we've seen it very early. I don't think of Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman in that light. And maybe they just haven't had an opportunity to show that to me, but
3 for 3. 3 for 33 the postseason. Mookie's probably just pissed the entire time.
But I kind of want to see him pissed, and he doesn't look pissed. I know he is. I
think that's unfair because I think that's the way they have to deal with it. They are the leaders of this team. They cannot look depressed on the field.
Harper looks angry when he fucks up, and he's the leader.
Yeah, but it's a different type of anger. I just feel that every player goes about their business differently.
Yeah, no, I know it's unfair. Yeah.
But I know what you're saying, that we enjoy when we see the emotion and it's pure. And that's why Bryce Harper is arguably my favorite player in baseball, because he wears his emotions on his sleeve and we can see everything that he's going through. Mookie, it's just a smile all the way through. And that's on the flip side why I love Mookie so much, is that it doesn't seem like anything ever bothers him. So I give him credit for that.
I want this to bother him a little bit.
I don't think that's him. I think the reason he's so good is because he doesn't let anything bother him. So he may be 3 for 33. He doesn't give a shit. And that's why I think he could come back the next game. However, the adjustments are not being made. And maybe it's just, he faced Zach Gallen, right?
Yeah.
really hard to hit him. But when Mookie and Freddie don't go, and again, it's credit to Gallen. Everything was working. All I wrote down, you know what I wrote down? Gallen is a beautiful pitcher. That's all I wrote down. I just wrote Gallen is a beautiful pitcher. Max Muncy's squared to butt. That's how bad it is right now.
He's such a good watch.
He was just different than Wheeler, because Wheeler was like, Wheeler was also beautiful, but he was fuck you in your face. Yeah. Not that way, but like fuck you in your face. Two different
gross way. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying.
My team-wide Dodger note, get it off that lightning quick, as quickly as we possibly can, moving off of that.
Fuck. I messed up.
My team-wide note, the Dodgers 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position across the first 2 games.
Dog
1 for
shit.
6 in each game. It's just not going to work.
Not going to work at all. JD Martinez had the shortest home run in MLB playoff history, or at least that's what it seemed like. Didn't fact check it. Again, these are straight from the dome. Felt like the shortest home run in MLB history, and I felt like that was a good.
It was 372 feet. Left the bat at 104, but yeah.
And no way it did that. Peter Vision, no shot. It went like 312.
Understood.
That felt like a good symbol of the Dodgers offense. Barely they got a home run. Barely. Again, I just wrote down Dave Roberts pushing all the right buttons. I thought he worked the bullpen masterfully. And then I wrote down Gallen getting every call in the corners and the ball off. If he gets there, it's so hard to hit him. However, the Dodgers are getting some nice calls on check swings. There was a couple of check swings there, which, Freddie went on a couple of those. But when Gallen is getting the ball off the corner, which I want to make sure everybody knows he earned, right? Dodgers fans, it's a ball. I get it. He earned that shit. He is around the corners. And when Gabby Moreno is framing him like that, everything looks like a strike. And it's all right there. The umpire is going to give it to him because he's consistently around there. That's what is the difference between a guy like Gallen and a guy like Wheeler to a guy like Bobby Miller. He hasn't earned those corners. Again, this is what I wrote down about Freddie. Freddie absolutely frozen on a hanging curveball, middle. Looked fooled on every curveball, and Gallen stuck with it. Had to throw for a strike and got it. Huge AB. I felt like that was the end of the game right there. That was the inning. You got Mookie on. You got Freddie up. That was the inning. They didn't get it. You saw the huge fist pump from Gallen. He knew it. Dodgers knew it. The game ended on that call. Gurriel, shout out Luis Gurriel Jr., beautiful home run. I wrote down beautiful a lot. These games are just beautiful.
Which ball do you think left the bat harder, JD Martinez or Lourdes Gurriel Jr.?
Probably JD Martinez, but everybody knew the ball was hit harder off Gurriel's bat.
Sure. Peter Vision knew.
Everybody watching at home knew.
Gotcha.
I thought it was also on a great pitch. Went down and, again, got a good pitch. I said no notes, just beautiful. I kept writing. I don't know why I did that. Also, I wrote down this. No idea why they took out Gallen. Absolutely no idea. What are we doing, D-backs? This is a horrible call. Sal Frank threw 10 innings this year, scoreless, but still, why did they take him out?
Great call. Yeah, and then great call. He got the out.
And then I wrote down, why are they not taking until they see a strike? This guy is just spamming curveballs in the dirt, and we got hitters up there with just no approach at all. The bottom of the Dodgers lineup is just so disappointing.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. When you got Miguel Rojas sitting down there, Outman is kind of going through this funk right now. He was 0 for 3 with a walk and 3 punch outs today. David Peralta, as soon as you get to Jason Hayward, and I love this bounce back from Jason Hayward, but
but he's kind of a dead bat right now too. I love it during the regular season when they platoon him well, not in the playoffs.
That's the thing. Hayward, Peralta, Outman, Rojas is the last 4 in your lineup. That ain't gonna get done.
I wrote down something I'm not proud of. Should I say it?
No, you don't have to.
I'm gonna say it.
I started doing no comments.
I wrote down Outman as a bum.
Ooh,
sorry.
I disagree, but we'll move on.
He made me so upset with his at-bats. He's not a bum. I wrote it out of spite. I was upset at his approach. He's not a bum.
Yeah, we're at the low point.
A couple errors at his at-bats have been terrible.
Yeah, no, he's not playing well right now.
Yeah, but he's not a bum. I'm sorry, James Almond. I didn't mean it. I thought putting in Wong shows the game was a forfeit. Like,
Yeah,
felt
Wong
like
made the
Rojas had
final
a better
out.
chance there. I mean, he's choking up on the bat just to get a ground ball. I mean, Rojas had a good September. Colton Wong's hitting 180. I mean, what are we doing there? I get the lefty-righty matchup, but what are we doing there?
The second best team in baseball pinch hit Colton Wong for Miguel Rojas.
I mean, that's why you're down 2-0 the D-backs.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's embarrassing. I wrote down what a world we live in where I'm genuinely afraid of Tommy Pham.
Dude, he is somehow becoming more likable for me over the
I love him
course of
now.
this 5-game
Yeah.
stretch. It's hilarious.
He's the man. He barrels everything. He's a tough AB. Now, the Dodgers got him on a couple of strikeouts, but Dodger fans, you cannot tell me you are not afraid of that man right now.
That guy needed to change his scenery 5 times, and
Yeah.
the 5th time was the charm. He just needed to be in Arizona, and we didn't know it until he got there, and he's the perfect Arizona Diamondback. And he's a 3-hitter for a team that seems like they're headed to the NLCS.
I wrote down Mookie needs errors to get on right now. He's so lost.
Oh, mean. Did you
I mean,
mean
is
it?
it not true?
No, it's true. It's true.
And then I wrote down whenever he gets on first, the Dodgers seem to score. And then I wrote down, that was stupid. They still suck.
I think I like my OneNote better than your notes.
Yeah, that's what I told you. These are all over the place. I said, not sure how anyone hits Ryan Thompson. He makes Freddie Freeman foul balls off his leg, not his ankle, his literal leg.
Yeah.
That's just another note I wrote down. Ryan Thompson's been disgusting.
Yeah.
Rays castaway gone to Arizona, becoming an elite reliever.
Yeah.
Last note, Freddie looks completely lost, as does Mookie. In between pitches, looks completely unlike himself. If those two aren't on, this series is over. And the Dodgers lost 4-2. Sewald comes in against the bottom of the Dodgers lineup. Don't even need to recap that. You know what happened. They didn't do shit. And the Dodgers haven't done shit all series. It's 4 runs, right? The score right now in this series, 15-4. Dodgers getting their ass kicked. And now, game 3, Lance Lynn, got to have a big time start because they just use their entire bullpen. Now they get an off day, but I mean, this is not good, Jack.
Can I say
probably over?
Early read tells me that the Dodgers win game 3 in Lynn versus Fott, and I think Lynn puts up a good start.
The thing is, if they win game 3, they could win the series. But
I know.
I don't know what, like, Brandon Fott, unfortunately, he's a good pitcher to face to get out of a slump.
Yeah, he is. He is.
I mean, with all due respect to Brandon Fott, I mean, what are we talking about right
No,
now?
I didn't expect to be saying that about him going into the year, but now
I loved him.
We're saying
I still believe. I swear to you, I still believe.
I don't understand how he turns into glorified batting practice at points, because it's still 95 and he still has a pitch mix. Like, I don't know. But I also don't understand how big leaguers, like, I walked through the EVs on yesterday's episode against Kershaw. It's still Clayton Kershaw. Like, I don't understand how it was easy for the Diamondbacks to hammer Kershaw, but that's the skill level of these guys.
Last thing, you throw in Kershaw game 4?
Yes. Live by him, die by him.
I'd go Pepio.
I want Pepio on the heels of Lynn, and I want Kershaw.
I think you got to give Lynn length and then go Pepio and Sheehan. Maybe go Sheehan with Lynn. It's kind of the same look.
I don't feel good about Sheehan.
The Dodgers are going to lose this series. I mean, they just don't have the pitching to do it. I mean, what are we even talking about?
No, man. I mean, Kershaw, like, game 4 could be the last start of Clayton Kershaw's career.
Could be. I mean,
I'm putting him out on the hill, and I'm saying empty the freaking tank. And Kershaw's going to look at me and say, Jack, you don't have to tell me what to do. I'm the greatest left-handed pitcher of all time. Literally, shut up. I'm going to go pitch.
Yeah, he would say that.
Quick
predictions as we end the pod. Twins, Astros, Sonny Gray taking on Christian Javier. Who you got winning?
Sonny is going to slice and dice. Edouard Julien is going to take a Christian Javier fastball deep. Javier is going to get ambushed on the 4-seamer. I think the Twins go in with a plan. I think they don't swing at the slider. I think they exclusively swing at the fastball. and I think Julien's going yard. I think one of Lewis or Correa is going yard on a four-seam fastball, and I think Minnesota takes a 2-1 lead.
I think you're right. This is also not a great matchup for Javier. Javier's biggest struggles, power lefties. Twins have 6 of them. They're a good fastball hitting team. We saw what they've done to similar pitchers to Christian Javier in that same division. How about Brian Wu? How about Bryce Miller? Twins had no issue with those type of guys. The type of guys who are fastball sliders, struggles against lefties. Twins eat them alive. Twins are better at home. Sonny Gray's going to dice. They got that bullpen. Griffin Jax is a bad man.
Jax is awesome.
Is a bad man. Brock Stewart is a bad man. They got a 3-headed monster back there.
So they also had Trevor McGill, and I think McGill was on the Brewers wild card roster, but McGill was a St. Paul Saint. McGill's like 6'8" and throws 102. Brock Stewart, like that's kind of his jam. Jax, that sweeper from Griffin Jax is
unbelievable,
filthy. And Duran, Aram and I had this conversation. I asked him a simple yes or no question. I'll ask you the same one. Is Yohan Duran the best reliever in baseball going into next year? Bautista's out with TJ.
I mean, he's got the best stuff of any pitcher I've ever seen.
I said yes.
There's a part of me that still wants to say Devin Williams, that I'm still not. He's just, his track record is so amazing.
He walks the world. Duran doesn't walk the world.
Yeah, I mean, when Duran comes in, the fucking game's over.
Game's over.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say yes, but there's still a part of me that...
Is Julien going yard, or is a different lefty going yard?
Polanco's been seeing the ball really well. I like Polanco.
Okay.
But I like Julien too. I think the Twins are going to have a really good day at the plate. And I want to be clear. I've been getting a lot of shit. This is what happens every single postseason. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know I make a lot of bets. And whenever I do this, I hate it because fan bases come after me and say that I hate them. And that's not what I'm doing. Obviously, people, Astros fans, you know I'm a Yankee fan. You know how much praise I've given the Astros. Stop. I don't hate your team. I'm very pro Twins. I like the value on them, and I am betting them. It has nothing to do with your team. It had nothing to do with the Blue Jays. While I was pissed at Vladdy because he cost me $6,000, we're going to rank Vladdy so low on the top.
Can I just say, just get used to it, man. As long as you...
I know. I just don't want fan bases thinking that I hate them.
But as long as you talk baseball, there are going to be fan bases. There are probably going to be 15 of them that assume that you hate them.
Whatever. You know, I might just end up hating all fan bases.
That's fine. I clearly
don't think I hate them. Fine, I'll hate you. You'll see what type of content I give you if I actually hate your team.
Yeah, I'm not a baseball fan. Like you see the content that I give, it's horrible.
Blue Jays fans, get ready for Vladdy hate content. I'm going to spin narratives you've never even heard.
Here's why Vladdy should play center field.
No, here's why Vladdy should be out of the league entirely.
Be a Buffalo Bison.
Yeah, I'm seeing, should we give him an extension? Yeah, you shouldn't extend him for a year for the league minimum.
Zing.
Boom. Zing. What's the last game on the schedule?
Orioles Rangers in Texas.
Orioles Rangers in
Nathan
Texas.
Eovaldi, Dean Kramer.
I bet Rangers first 5 -0.5. They got to win through the first 5. Dean Kramer, show me you got it.
I think Dean Kramer is going to show us that he's got it. I have the Orioles winning.
Wow.
I think the Orioles deploy everything they have out of that bullpen. I hope Kramer gives them 3. And I do think that they win a low-scoring game.
I'm going to give it to the Rangers. I think they sweep. I think this is just... The Rangers are hot.
Yeah.
That's it. When they're hot, they can win the World Series. That's how I feel about the Rangers. And if the Twins end up winning the series, my Cinderella team facing the team that is a juggernaut on offense when they're hot, I will have some tough decisions to make. But we're going to make those tough decisions when we continue to predict on the Just Baseball Show. Hopefully everybody enjoyed my stream of consciousness. We got through it. Braves, Phillies, unbelievable game. Dodgers, Diamondbacks, unbelievable performance by the Diamondbacks. They deserve all the credit. I cannot wait to continue to see them beating the piss out of the Dodgers. And that sucks to say because we have Walker Buehler coming on every week. But at the same time, the Diamondbacks are firing me up. I can only be honest. And they are firing me up. I want to jump on the bandwagon. I love this team. And we'll be back tomorrow. That's Jack. I'm Peter. We'll save you guys the theatrics. You'll know when to subscribe. You know to leave a 5-star review. We greatly appreciate it. Get your Just Baseball merch. We're all wearing it. And with that, thank you, everybody.